What's up with it? What's up with it, Mr. Willie?
Let's come on with April Fool joke today.
April
Fool joke.
April Fool joke. It's
Yeah.
it's it's episode 3.
Yes.
The Time Is Now podcast.
I got you.
Richard Moore Jones, Willie Clifton.
Yes.
You know, everything going good on your end?
It is good. You know what? I wake up now just thinking about, thank God, you know what, for everything he does, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that makes me feel better, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Not because of what's going on in the world. And, you know, after all these years, you know, I just begin to think like that now. Hey, I can't control nothing. I'm not in control of anything so bad. I'll roll with the flow, you know.
For sure,
and know that God got it.
That's
So,
what's up. That's
yes.
what's up. You know,
Yeah.
so today the topic we talking about, failure is not the end.
Wow.
Failure is only the beginning. You know, if you don't fail, you don't get to start over from zero.
Thank you.
The only way to start over from zero is failing. It's like refreshing the computer. You close out everything, you say, I'm going to go back because it's moving a little slow. Give you a restart, a redo.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay. So, you know, so let's see. It say share stories of people who failed. You know, so let's see. You got any stories of people who failed, but then the stepping stone to success?
You know, I would grant you everybody done fail. It's just a natural.
I like
Everybody
that
have.
answer.
You know what? Some handle it better. But it's world. This is the world we live in. So I would say everybody have failed.
At some point.
At some point. At some point. And it's just natural that happens because we live in a fallen world. And it has that, well, it's just a thing that happens, you know. Even, I think a lot of Christians would think, hey, you know what? You find Christ, you know, you get away from trouble. But this was a troubled world. So
man, when you find Christ, trouble come harder.
Harder. It does.
You got to stick through that first.
and knowing exactly who you are in Christ. To make it work for you. But
I like that answer though, you know?
I think we all do. I'm pretty sure when you understand that, you know, that we all do, it gives you, I'm not going to say it don't give you release from your situation, but don't cry a river.
No,
don't sit there in a pity party.
It ain't going to help
nothing. Keep moving.
You got to keep pushing.
Keep pushing. That's why failure is not the end. Because you have to say, okay, what can I learn from that mistake? What happened in this season? So let me do better.
Sometimes it's because it's not for you.
And that's it.
You know,
that's another.
That's a big part you gotta understand. Sometimes that's just not for you. Sometimes it's just meant for you to do it again,
exactly.
do it again.
Exactly.
You know, you ain't gonna hit no home run every time.
Exactly.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta bunt it, run base to base.
Yes.
Okay. So you know, scripture, Proverbs 24. Chapter 24, verse 16. For though the righteous fall 7 times, they rise again, but the wicked stumble when calamity strikes.
Yeah. You know what? That's what it seems like. Because sometimes you're sitting out there, and I think we base that on success, people with God. It looks like, okay, they don't fail. Because if they already got, you know, it looks, you can't see it. But if I go out there and lose, if I drop $10,000, you know, I can feel it. But successful people, $10,000
is nothing. That's $10.
$10, yeah. So I think until you get to that point, but even at that, I find myself not even worried about that. I just try to overcome it because when you start really looking at it, knowing who's in charge, then you have to focus on that. because the enemy come to kill, steal, and destroy. So he always trying to put something on us to say, to block your success, to try to failure is not the end, but he tried to make you think, well, it's the end. I mean, he wants you to not even function. He wants you to feel like this is the end. But we can't feel like that.
And so the righteous fall 7 times, They fall to the ground, get back up, fall to the ground multiple times.
Yes.
But the wicked stumble when calamity strikes. The wicked fall to the ground, they stay down there.
Yeah.
They ain't trying to get up.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Yes.
The righteous person, they know, man, I just got to keep pushing. I
really
can't let this God on my side, I got to keep going.
Right.
The wicked like, man, you know what? I just give up.
Right.
Try to do things, like suicide and stuff like that because they feel like it's no ending to it.
Correct.
So, but the righteous person understand we good. It's going to be okay. Keep on pushing.
Right. That's one reason I like doing this because it opened up our minds and you can go back. And I go back and go over some of the things that we talk about, and it encourages myself even listen to what we're saying, because you got to live what you say.
You got to
live what you believe.
You ain't got no choice.
Right. And so when we putting this out there, it's like I always say, you probably can tell when you doing your Sunday school lessons, you can feel things that now I said this, now I got to believe it. So when you say it, you have to believe what you say.
I'm gonna be honest, Mr. Willie. Everything I say, I believe 1,000,000%.
Yeah.
I don't even think about it if I believe it.
Ooh.
Just tell you the truth, it's never a thought.
Cross your mind.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I don't when I talk about getting through breakthroughs and all that, man, when I go through stuff, I don't even think about it twice. And there's people around me that could attest to that. Untitled, anybody.
Gotcha.
Daisy, she'll tell you, he don't be tripping.
Yeah.
It ain't no point in tripping.
It ain't no point. You're right.
I just gotta keep pushing, do what I can. The best thing I can to make it happen, then we just gotta figure it out.
Figure it out.
Yeah, trust in God, have that faith.
Right. Really and truly. I mean, that is a suggestion. That is the answer too. That's the answer right there. You have to feel that way.
You got to.
Yes.
You got to.
Yes.
Okay. So failure isn't the end. It's the pattern before growth. What separates people isn't whether they fall, but whether they get back up with intention. So that's people, a lot of people say when I came to God, when I started believing in God, or they try to say when I started following God, being obedient to God, my life got worse. Man, you got to understand, you was living for the devil. So when you start living for God, stuff gonna happen.
Exactly.
Because the devil let me see.
Let me see.
So the moment you say, man, I give up, man, he got him.
Exactly.
Got him, when you live for the devil, he barely got a reason to mess with you.
Why?
You already living how you want you to live.
He making you go, well, you need to get,
Yeah. But the moment you say, I'm picking up my Holy Bible, I'm walking on that straight, he like, hold on,
Right.
I got a seat over here for you, I need you to feel.
You're right. You're always out there trying to encourage somebody else, but that's the whole point. When we get to that point, it's always somebody that's gonna come at you. They looking at your spirit is strong, and where you know it now, when they really feel like, and they see you rolling. Now I'm gonna show you something else. What's gonna really the next level, because the next level is when you get that position and you put that title on it. Then they gonna look at you. They looking at you now, but they saying, okay, he's saying he's following Christ. Well, the next position is when you become. Well, you need to become a deacon. Sometimes you become a deacon, and then you move into a pastorship. Sometimes a deacon is kind of softly. And I'm not saying it's soft, because a lot of times a deacon has a lot of responsibility. But it's a position that people look at and they know that okay, you're following this position, so how you gonna act? But I know it's already in your mind. Without having a position, you love twice, and that's the key I like about you. how you got to act. You know what the word tell you.
Come on, that's what I'm going.
That's
about.
where you're going about.
I don't care about what nobody
Right.
thinks. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And that's what we're doing this for. We want people to understand the time is now.
Yes, the time
is now to be set apart.
Thank you.
Just because you people living this way don't mean you gotta stay living that way.
Amen.
You know, go ahead and make that turn and get away from that.
There are times that we're going through right now. And I'm seeing a lot of pastors get thrown under the bus right now. And you know, some I think need to check themselves. I think because once they get on the mega churches, once they get on that upper salon, that status where they're out there and they're making hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, they get more money, then they start feeling themselves.
That's good work. That's good work.
But see, that's the thing.
That's the thing.
Man.
You can't.
God get the glory.
God get the glory.
You wouldn't even be able to do that if it wasn't for God.
Amen.
And you start trying to live for yourself like you that important.
Correct.
Hey, everybody, we all just human beings. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
Okay, so go ahead. Okay, so we're gonna go with the first point. What did failure teach that success never could?
Well, if you're looking at success, one of the things in success is going back to a failure. You know, you can get on a roll, and you've been there. You've been there. You say, man, okay, when is this gonna stop? Okay, you're not too expecting it to stop, but you get there and you say, you've seen the money don't come in as fast.
100%.
You know, but you learn to say, I think once that done happened to you more than one time, you start saying, you know what, I'm not gonna throw away this money. Okay,
yeah, more than one time. It might take 100 times.
It
might take 500 times.
For it to come
hey,
back.
what you mean one time?
Right.
Nah, one time ain't enough.
Man.
Hey, boy, you know, one time is not near enough.
No.
And so, you know, my answer to that, what did failure teach that success never could? You know, if you only succeeding, you never know how to take it when failure comes.
You wouldn't.
You know, I mean, you only succeed, now you fail. You're like, what I do now?
Ooh, man.
You know, it's like a baby, you always fixing their food, but then that day you don't fix it, they gotta fix their own. They're like,
what I'm gonna eat?
Yeah, what? Hey, they eat snacks all day or something.
No lie.
Yeah. So, and see, in that, you know, if you don't understand that there's a lesson and you only look at that you failed, you don't understand what's going on, it'll never work out for you on the successful side because every time you fail, you're going to give up. You got to understand it's a lesson in the failure. You know, maybe you didn't do this right. You didn't do that right. You know, you didn't go over here and handle this job right. You didn't talk to this person right. You know, you didn't handle something right. Or it's so many things that you got to look at and find the lesson in it.
Absolutely. Do you think of like this? Sometimes we are at a point, you know, you're seeing success, and that's dealing with Christians. They might think, well, you know what? I want to live right so I can get, you know.
Yeah, basically they only want to live right to get
successful.
something out of it.
Right, be successful.
Then they start living right and they don't get successful.
Right.
Then they start blaming God.
That's exactly
true.
what happens.
That's true, man.
Blaming
but
God.
See, the only reason stuff like that happens is God know your heart.
You know,
he ain't about to let you use him.
Oh,
man,
no.
You better get on somewhere.
Right.
Man.
You only go to church and say, oh, I'm going to church right now because, you know what, I'm trying to do better in my life.
Man, we talking about the person that's the ruler of that know all things.
Yes.
He know your thoughts.
Yes. He know what you up to.
Come on now.
Right, knowing your thoughts.
Come on now. He know why you doing this.
Right.
He know the reason behind it. Even if you say it out loud or not.
You've been going to church for 3 months. 3 months straight.
Why ain't got millions of dollars?
Right.
Okay, so we're going to go to point 2. How did the setback reshape direction, discipline, or character? So I'll answer that first.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, you know, when you get setbacks, you know, it just builds a backbone and it make you a little more stronger. You get what I'm saying? Because, you know, if a person never go through nothing, they really soft. You know, you got to go through something to be able to,
You
get through something.
Right.
Well, you don't it's a song like that, ain't it? You gotta go through something in order to get something. I think that's how it go. I think that's how it go, but that's true,
That's very true.
Yeah.
I tell you, you do.
Mm-hmm.
It builds a character, like what it's saying. If you going through it, you see yourself not up on the level that you want to. You said, man, you know what? Start trusting God, and but I'm looking at, and I learned more and more about the Bible, and even as long as I've been into it, it never,
we'll never know everything.
Never.
Yeah.
So I find myself trusting Him even through letdowns, the financial, the things that come in, and I was just listening to somebody that said, I think on another podcast, it was talking about success and how people, once they're going through something, how they start handling life and how they look at church. And again, once they feel that they are in it, and church is working for them, they have a more connected with God.
Okay.
So I think that does have something to do with the failure and seeing where they messed up, and even going back, I know going through, I went through a divorce, and I thought that was my failure, and it was somewhat me. I had something to do with it, and I looked at that. It's like, oh man. Positive thing I looked at, I said, well, I still have a job. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna hold on to make sure I keep my job. So even having a job, place to stay, food to eat, and all this kind of good stuff, I felt successful enough to, I can keep pushing. And that was my strength. I should have thought about God first.
And I'm sitting over here thinking, I just made a video about 2 days ago. I said, people think that they so important because they try to disappear out your life, try to cut you off and stuff, but you only need God. That's it. You get what I'm saying? I mean, who else do you really need? If you need a person, God gonna keep them in your life.
Thank you.
If you don't need them, he gonna get them away. No matter what you feel like you're going through, or how bad it is to you, it'll never work. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. So failure should refine you, not just frustrate you. Of course it's gonna be a little frustrating, but you can't be sitting here, dwelling on that, sitting on that. Nah, you gotta move on.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. So the third point, what decision did they make after failing that changed everything? That's
a good one now. Sometimes you have to look at yourself at that point. And that's what it's actually talking about. You have to say, well, you know what? I did this. I made a mistake. And I think that's where you go to God. God, forgive me for messing this up. Go to Him and ask Him to, give you the strength to continue to doing your best, doing right, lead you into the right direction, and stay focused, and stay focused on the most important thing. You have to stay with Him. Don't throw Him to the curb. And I think in some things that happen to people, they get away from God for a little bit.
For sure.
Yeah.
And the reason that they get away from God because they don't have an understanding of what the lesson that they should have learned.
There it is.
Instead, they try to lean on what it say. Lean not on your own understanding, and they lean on their own understanding. So they think that this, that. When the whole time, if you talk to God, He'll show you what He will. Maybe He won't tell you tomorrow. Maybe it take a little time, but the answer is gonna come.
It will.
You know what I'm saying? So that we gotta get ourselves out the way. We gotta get ourselves out the way to understand the lesson. It's so many things that we want to do. So many people that's in our life that we want to keep in our life, but sometimes it just don't. It's not there for that. You know what I'm saying? It's time to cut it out, cut the string.
I have a friend. and my wife and I was looking at it. You know, he was, and you know him not personally, but you know him. But again, you know, when things like that happen, that you know, he and I was real close, and some things came about. And when it got to that point, you know, the wife was saying, "Well, you know what? You have to cut ties. You just can't."
100%. You know, I look at it like a baby in the stomach. You know, in the stomach. When the woman had a baby, what they do? What's the first thing they do? Cut the umbilical cord.
Right.
Because you can't be attached to her no more. You can be attached spiritually, but not physically. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. It's always a time where you gotta get separated. You know? So hey, sometimes you just that baby grow till it get to the point where it's ready to come out. And it gotta get separated. And you just know what? Like relationships in life, it grow to a certain point, then it gotta get separated. That's with anything though, you know.
You know what? Thinking about that, sometimes you do cut that umbilical cord, but when they get grown, you got to physically cut it again.
Yeah, for sure.
Sometimes people lean on with you, trying to follow you, trying to stay there. You know, trying to, what can you do for me? And in this day and time, you know, it's a lot of young people can't function.
Boy, they bring me back to the point. You know, they think they so important they can't even take care of their own financial responsibilities. They still with their mommy and daddy.
Exactly.
You know, or they with their grandma, or they say, "I'm here because I want to be." Why you lying?
You're right. They lie.
Come on, you know you want your own space. You can't even walk around in less clothes. You gotta be fully clothed before you go to your own kitchen. Come on, man. You gotta, hey, man. We gotta get right. When should we get right? The time is now. Hey, okay. The turning point is rarely the failure. It's the response to it. That's a good point. Because the turning point is not the failure. It say rarely, but it's not the failure.
It's not the failure.
It's the response to it.
Yes. How you going?
That's deep right there.
Right. How you going?
I ain't gonna lie to you. That's deep right there. Yeah. It's the response to it.
Right.
The turning point is the response.
And you know what?
To it.
That your response, it linger over to other people, and they can see that you're going through stuff. What? Because your response. How you act.
That's
man, I don't know what I'm gonna do, man. I just talked about it today.
Okay, hold on. Go ahead. That's like today we was in the parking lot. We pull up to the bank. We pulling it. Listen, it's a big old parking lot.
Yeah.
We pulling up in the parking lot. You know, when you got a trailer, you just drive across the parking spots. It's a dude walking down the middle of the dang parking lot, but it's close to the bank, so I'm trying to park in ease. Yeah. When I'm pulling in, he just happened to be walking across the parking lot in front of the truck. He walking with his cane. It's an older man. He gonna get mad. Man, you gonna just try to run me over? Man, listen. I swear on everything. Yeah. He turned around 15 times.
And saw you.
Listen, he turned around. No, I'm talking about after this happened. He's still talking noise the whole time. He take 2 steps, turn around, raise the cane. What you doing? You know, listen, a woman come out to get up in her car. He still turn around talking noise. I walk inside the bank. I'm turning around while I'm walking in there. He's still doing it. It's some dudes walking to the parking lot towards us. He telling them about us. Because acting like I almost ran him over. Listen, this is the crazy part. He walked across the street.
Still
He's still talking noise. Like, man, listen, you are going across the parking lot like you a car. It's a whole sidewalk over there. But you know, I done learned different. I could have responded different. Yeah. You know, it's just certain things that happen that try to get you get under your skin.
Get under your skin.
Even when I went to the landfill today, right after that. Man, the dude, the woman asked about the address. I told her where the address is from. Then I told her at the other landfill we go to that they charge less for
certain
material. For certain material, cardboard boxes. Yeah. I said they charge less for that. She was laughing. What you think I this? And so all her supervisor, her boss, what she said, all he heard was that I said the other city, and he gonna try to say they come from down there. I'm like, no, man, I was just talking about it. Then she started looking it up. She looking it up or whatever, and then I said, why he in your business anyway? Because I didn't know this was her boss at first. I'm just saying, like, why he in your business? I'm talking to you. You know what I'm saying? She said, well, that's my boss. You know, I ain't even say nothing. But when we driving off, you know, this man came out the door. As soon as we passed, he came out the door trying to look in the trailer. Right when we passed him, though, trying to look in the trailer. But that's just small things. People try to get under your skin. But they happen back to back. Like, bro, you can't even, you can't even bother me, man. But I just mentioned that because that happened today, and I could have had a different response.
And you know what? And sometimes people let things like that go. It can last whole week.
Oh, I could have talked noise and everything like that, man. I didn't even say nothing to him. I just let him keep doing that.
Right. I mean, what could you do? What could you do?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you got any conclusions? Anything you want to follow up? Tell the people. You know, anything you want to add? Tell them failure is not the end. If somebody failing right now as we speak, what's the first thing that you think they should do to be able to get out of that rut? Now, this answer is not going to be 100%. It's going to work overnight because everybody got different situations. But this right here is from a person that's obedient to God. He just going to give you, a little insight on what you may be going on. We don't know your situation, but we can help a little bit as much as we can.
Right. And the thing is, when you get to right there, man, you know what? Like you did, you just went through a whole scenario.
Woo!
You said, and most of the time, we nut up, go crazy, ballistic.
Yeah.
But you didn't. You kept your composure.
100%. I had to.
You said, no, I'm not going to let this happen. Because that incident could have lasted for the rest of the week, day Wednesday. It could be Friday. It could be Sunday morning.
And I'm still talking about it.
Yes. But you just let it go.
Okay, what about the other stuff fail? They feeling they can't pay their bills. They can't put no gas in their car. They ain't got a car. What's the first thing they should do?
You know what? Now this is me looking back, and I'm not a genius, not a long shot, but I've lived through and I can say it's been some time that I couldn't pay my bills. And I can look at some things now and some stuff that be thrown at you. And you be saying, man, now you know what? That's thrown out there. I can't reach that level right now. You have to pray about it. You have to be real about it. You have to let God know about it. You have to say, Lord, let your will be done. Because whatever happened. I look at stuff right now, and I look at, and I've been there before. Even I got a couple car notes. And that's what I have. I don't have a house note, nothing like that. But I still look at it now in my mind. I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do. I'm going to pay you.
No matter what?
No matter what.
Okay.
And if it failed, if it came to the point that they would say, I'm going to have that vehicle to come get it. I'm not going to sweat it anymore. So I already feel that God got me. I'm already walking in his favor. I keep myself in this faith. Now, this is some things that I learned. I can be doing well, and I've seen myself kind of like, it's all good. I want to have some fun. Sometimes we talk about having too much fun. I remember the time, I'm going through something. I would fall off the wagon to have fun.
All because you're going through a
all because I'm going through something.
All because you're going through something. That's your excuse.
That's my excuse. I might as well do a little something. It ain't gonna hurt a little bit of it.
Okay, so go ahead.
And I'm saying that's one of the things. But if people looking at what we're talking about, don't go just get in the ditch, get dirty. No. Sometimes you just wallow in your mess. No. Try to straighten yourself up. Lord, this is a situation. Help me out there.
Come on,
and keep going.
And so my answer is, before we end it off, it's a lot of people that's going through something because of what they are doing.
That's it.
They start going through something and they doing the same thing that they've been doing for a long time. They not even willing to hit the refresh button and start over everything. Like
Correct.
you listening to this type of music, stop.
Ah.
You smoking, stop. Drinking, stop.
Yeah.
You clubbing, stop. Then the change might come, just might. But they not even willing to even try to hit the reset button due to what they used to.
Now, that was a good point right there.
Due to what they, sometimes you gotta just, cut the head off the snake.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll grow another one or something,
Yes.
Cut
the nonsense. I love that.
Come on now. You gotta start over from nothing sometime, man. And I mean,
you do.
You just gotta hit a reset button, refresh sometimes.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
Really
Okay. So we here, episode 3, the Time Is Now podcast. We love coming here talking to y'all every week. We gonna be here next week, man. Make sure y'all subscribe, share, and like. Understand that what we talking about is nothing major. God get the glory over all things. Yeah. Next week, we talking about the power of perspective. The power of perspective. Yeah. How I see stuff might not be how you see stuff. How Mr. Willie see stuff might not be how you see stuff. Right. So we gonna tell you from our perspective, but we want to understand and let you know that we all living for God. So it's really about His perspective.
Yeah, that's the key.
So we gonna end it off with that. Everybody have a good day. Tune in for next week.
That's it.